I'll ever believe I'm live when the screen goes bright. If it stays at dual color, I still think I'm not. But hello, my lovely little titans. I did start this just a little bit early because why not? We always seem to run out of time, so I thought I'd start a little bit early today. But how have you guys been? How's your week gone? Anything fun happened to you guys? Anything cool, exciting, terrible, whatever you want to talk about? My week was actually pretty good. Nothing too major. I found out I'm having another niece. My sister is pregnant with her second child, and it is a lovely little girl. So I will have a niece come either December this year or January of next year. So that'll be nice and exciting. Hello, Krista. Hello, Charrose. How are you guys doing? Hello, Wolf. Yes, I did. I had a pretty good week actually. Like I said, I found out that my sister is going to be having a little girl, which is exciting. So the new baby will be here either the end of December or the first part of January of next year. So that'll be cool. Good, but I have a cough. Oh, that sucks. Sorry to hear that. Good, I was getting Bestie to sleep. Oh yeah, your bestie. How's your bestie doing? You know, I would laugh, Krista, if your bestie's username on YouTube was like Emir or something. So it'd just be too perfect. And I know I said I'd have a video. I actually do have it. I just have to finish two couple things on it, and then I was gonna upload it tonight. The wonders of a 2, almost 3-year-old is fun. I love her to death, but she hates it when attention is not. And I don't mean it in a bad way. It's like she's so used to us, paying attention to her, interacting with her, that anything else that takes our attention, she's like, "What about me?" So I was sitting here trying to even upload a new chapter to one of my stories, and she was grabbing my arm, pulling me away, trying to pull the chair so she could pull me out, sit on my lap, do anything. I don't let her sit on my lap when I'm on my computer because God knows what children do to computers. No. She did that enough when I had my work computer there. That was fun. Yes, but it's only me. She doesn't do. Or so it feels like. I'm like, I want to get stuff done, and you're so cute, and I love you so much, but can you let me get something done? You barely let me get housework done. She's on a holiday trip, but she gets her place. Nice. You guys gonna do anything fun when she gets back? Again, probably it just feels like she targets me. And I know she probably doesn't. It's probably all in my head because I'm like focused on doing something and she's focused on me not doing it. But it still feels that way. But yes, I do have some videos, and I'm gonna try to set it up so I get them all done and I can just schedule them. I will say you might see one that's a cosplay one that's scheduled for a couple weeks from now because I'm trying to finish up the other one that's supposed to come before this. I made them out of order, or I thought that the order would be better a different way. So I need to finish up the other one, and then but I'd already finished the other one prior, but I don't want to release it before the other one, so it gives me incentive to finish. And I think after this next one, after these next couple, I'm going to focus on that modern Attack on Titan that we all were talking about. So I might move away from the standard one and go into the more modern one with the teaching and everything. I think it'll be fun. I think it'll be fantastic. Yeah, we're cosplaying Can you believe she told everyone else not to color while she was away? I was the only one she talked. Oh, that's sweet. Kids' minds work in mysterious ways that I don't understand at all. Right? Right? I'm so glad I'm not alone in that. When you're not doing something, they'll leave you alone. But the moment you were doing something like that, yes. I could be sitting on the couch doing absolutely nothing and she's just doing her own thing. But the second I get up, because I'm like, oh, she's got her own thing, I can go do mine. Nope. As soon as I get up, she's like, oh, something interesting is about to happen, and follows me in. So why can't you just stay preoccupied with your toys while I do this? I am drinking tea. It's wonderful. Tell me about our 10 tiny humans in my classroom. Fair enough. Fair enough. I find it distracting with just one. I can't imagine 10. I think I'd lose my mind. No, definitely would lose my mind. I don't even know how my sister's going to do it too. Especially when one is now turning 4 and the baby isn't even here yet. I remember the feeling well. Right, you had all of your little and you had your nieces. Oh God. I'm a friend that always leaves them on red. Nice. I just finished a Milo. Oh, and nephew. I'm sorry. I just remember your nieces came up quite often because they were the younger ones. Yeah, sorry about that. I forget my ignorant. What's a Milo? I have no idea what a Milo is. I'm sorry. I like to annoy my friends, but leave them on because we don't. Oh my God. I do that sometimes. I will if I have nothing left to say to the person, and then I'll just move on in the conversation. Like, I'll just move on, and then if I have something else, I'll then message. But if I leave somebody on Reddit, it's not necessarily like intentional. Like, I just don't want to talk to you. It's more like okay, the conversation has reached its natural conclusion. I have nothing left to add. Let's move on. 3 girls, 1 boy. Nephews. Okay. And so for my family, with our new generation, with my daughter, it's all girls. It's my daughter, and now her cousins are both going to be girls. So, well, one is already a girl. The other one is soon to be a girl on this plane of existence. I wish I had more pictures, like ultrasound pictures. My sister only ever sent one. Very tiny, very cute though. Wonder what she'll look like. I asked my kids to tell me what song begins with the letter G, and they started singing Jingle Bells. That's precious. Jingle Bells. My daughter likes to sing Jingle Bells. It's on some of her, like, Cocomelon. They have Christmas ones. She'll sing Jingle Bells, and it's so freaking cute. I've never... Oh, my God. And then she'll sing stuff from Bluey and all sorts of other things. And, oh, my heart just melts for this child sometimes. I have a friend that calls me at 8 in the morning. I won't sleep. And I'm just like, are you dead? Okay, first off, if somebody calls me at 8 o'clock in the morning, it better be prearranged, or you better be, dying and in need of emergency help. The same goes if you're calling me at 2 o'clock in the morning. I don't do late calls. And I don't do early calls unless, again, it's prearranged, like, oh yeah, I need to call you at this time for something. No. If you call me at that, you will not get pleasant me at all. So be warned, and you'll be lucky if I wake up some days. I mean, most of the time I try to be up at 6, but most of the time I won't answer my phone before, 10 o'clock, when it's reasonable for me to interact with humans. Well, it has a G in the sign. Yes, it does have a G in the first word, so no arguments there. My best calls me. Like, aw. That's cute, Krista. I randomly sing This Is Halloween from Nightmare Before Christmas. I randomly burst into anime themes. Or whatever my daughter happens to be singing, I'll sing along with her. And she's just like, why are you sound out? I'm like, I just woke up. I'd have been like, if somebody called me, I'd been like, hello? Well, why are you upset? Why are you calling me so early? It's 8 o'clock. Exactly. I think my mom did that to me once. And I was pissed. I was just like, Mom, why did you call me? You knew I was asleep. You knew I didn't have class today or anything. Why did you call me? And she called me because she needed me to do something with my brother. She forgot to tell me the day before. I'm like, you could have texted this to me. I am a big believer in could this be a text? If yes, text me. If no, still text me. And if I didn't deem it call worthy, I will call you. I don't like phone calls. And yet I've worked at a call center. And I'm about to work at another one. I don't know. It seems I can't get a job that avoids human interaction as much as I really wish I could. I like data entry where I just look at something and enter it. That way I don't even have to bother with people. Like coworkers are like a semi-exception because you have to deal with them for stuff. But beyond that, I don't like dealing with anybody else. Barely like dealing with coworkers. If I don't answer the call the first time, they will spam text me like, are you dead? Are you asleep? Are you not answering? You should really have your phone set, if you have that ability. There's something you can call that's like sleepy mode or whatever, where if you're like driving or asleep or something, you can set your phone into it for a certain amount of time, and it will send an automated message, and it will block all calls and texts, but it will send them an automated message telling them, hey, this person is driving, this person is asleep. They will reach out to you at their earliest convenience. So if you have that, maybe set your phone for that, maybe for that person. But I thought it was a pretty cool feature. OMG, the Karens are the worst. So I can't even say I really dealt, like even in normal customer service, front facing with people, I can't even say I dealt with a lot of Karens. I just dealt with a lot of annoyed people. I can't even call them Karens because they didn't go asking for a manager, because I would just look at them and go, I would only just go, hi, I'm the assistant manager. So you're stuck with me. Those were fun. Those were fun where I'd say when they're like, get me the manager, I'm like, I'm the only manager here, so you got to deal with me. Those are always fun. And then they would always be like, oh, well, okay, so what do you want to do? What are you going to do? Well, if you'd given me 5 seconds before jumping down me about this, that, and the other, I could have told you exactly what to do, but now we are extending this interaction beyond what is normal. So, Space Glitch. Hello, Space Glitch. How are you doing? How are you feeling today? Oh, if you can only listen in, that's fine. Are you moving? Oh, sorry. If you can answer, go ahead. If not, I understand. I was just going to ask if you're moving like states or houses. My iPhone has the do not disturb. Yeah, that was it. That's the do not disturb feature. I think they're cool. I think it's cool. I don't use it personally because nobody ever texts me or calls me. But if they do, it's usually pretty, like, there's usually a reason. Come to think of it, I think only my mother and my husband call me. And then texting wise, it's like a varied mix of family. Like it'll be my husband sometimes. My mother's most of the time. My dad never. My brother sometimes, and my sister almost never. I say almost because I did get messages from her today after I congratulated her on the new baby. I knew about it beforehand, but I don't know, something about us now knowing that it's a girl. I felt the need to reach out. It seemed like it was okay to reach out now. So there's a whole sordid story to go back with that, but I don't think I'll eat. Well, not all of you too, but I don't think you guys need to worry about that. There's someone else that was not my mom did someone best milk. That's cute. My sister, the only one who contacts me when I'm not. Glad to know that I'm not alone in the whole. I don't have a lot of people blowing me up. I don't understand that. But I also have a lot of notifications turned off. So I guess if I didn't have them turned off, I would get my phone would blow up more with Discord and stuff. But yeah, as far as people actually wanting to talk to me and not as a server I'm part of, no, I wouldn't have that many people anyway. My stepmom's sister gave birth to her son Thursday this week. Oh, wow. Congratulations to her. That's wonderful. I woke up at 9. I was so happy. I woke up at... the door knock. And I didn't order anything. Doing well and no, not moving. Okay, that's fair. For me, moving usually entails moving states. So people who move houses in the same state, I'm like, what? Even though I've done it, living where I am, I've done it several times. It just baffles me. I leave DC notification on just in case I get a message on. Fair enough. Woke up at 7:50 as soon as I have. Nasty. I think I got up at I know I was up about 7:30 this morning, which is a little later than I normally wake up, but I went to sleep a little later than I normally do. So got up at 7:30, and then by noon, I had pretty much everything I wanted done. So that was nice. Part of a Discord server, but it's dead. Oh, are you part of ours, Krista? I wish I could set more automated things for it. For the Discord, just so it would post random stuff. Can't find yours. I know I included. Hold on. Sorry. Why? Why? Dylan? Why? Why? You just feel bad because what I told you the other day, don't you?
Why?
I could finally taste it.
No.
I don't taste anything else.
No, that's why I made sure to get that flavor though.
My husband is sneaky and he got me ice cream. It's one of the random coughs that I get. Ooh, because he loves you. Yes, he does. This particular sundae tastes like birthday cake. Like straight up birthday cake. It's fantastic. So if any of you are near Cold Stone, which is where this is from, they're running a special right now. And they have all these Nintendo inspired sundaes. This is the Mario one. It's really good. So, like I said, it's the Mario sundae from Cold Stone. It is cake batter ice cream with blue frosting, vanilla cake pieces, and sprinkles. Is it blue ice cream? Yes and no. I mean, yes, it is colored blue, but it is not naturally blue. It is from blue frosting. And it tastes just like a piece of birthday cake. It's wonderful. One of the best combinations in the entire freaking world is cake and ice cream. So this is just a wonderful marriage of the two. If it wasn't so cold, I'd want one. I willingly eat ice cream in the winter. Like I crave it in the winter. So it doesn't bother me. I do want to know if the people that transport, because you got it through Grubhub or something, if they never turn up the AC or turn on their AC when they're delivering ice cream, it always comes melted. It looks like a sugar rush. I mean, yeah, but isn't that what ice cream's supposed to be? Tell him to, and he can have it delivered to your work if he has like DoorDash or something. Green like texture. So do you like pistachio, mint, and that kind of thing? I'm pretty sure they don't have broccoli flavored ice cream, and that would be the best one for Deku, since you know it's hair. Okay, yeah. I mean, or you just mention it in passing, be like, "Hey, this would be really cool to get." If you just mention something that you think would be really nice, and you mention it to your significant other, 9 times out of 10 they'll do it because you said that you would like that to happen to you. Chris said, "Yes, I could." Yes, I do. Mm-hmm. I'm not a fan of the cold, but it doesn't annoy my sister with ice. I say ice feet are the worst, and I get those anyway. I think I have really bad circulation in my feet. Tried mint chocolate for the first time. It needs more chocolate, less mint. If you feel that way, Rose, what I do, because sometimes I find like the mint can be a little bracing. So, and I love mint chocolate chip, don't get me wrong. But I, again, kind of like the mint's really kind of, ooh. So in order to get more chocolate flavor, I'll either put chocolate syrup or chocolate fudge on it. It adds that chocolate hit you're looking for, but you still get the mint. It's just not as bracing. Lime ice cream. I've never seen lime ice cream. I've seen lime sherbet, so maybe. I just don't think sherbet counts since it's mostly ice. I love the cold. My AC is on 19 degrees Celsius. Oh, that's cold. I don't mind the cold in the appropriate situations. For example, a couple months ago, we had a random blizzard in May. So, yeah. I don't appreciate cold in May. But then again, I wouldn't really appreciate like a balmy day in winter necessarily, because balmy here means lots of, just not good here. Saxon with soccer here tonight. Yeah, the tourism right now. Oh, I'm sorry. If I had the choice, probably a rat. Those creatures can survive anything. I still think, Cold Stone has really good ice cream, and their concept's really cool. But I think for waffle cones, or waffle in general, I think Baskin Robbins is better. Like Baskin Robbins actually tastes like a waffle. This just kind of tastes like processed food. I'm highly critical of it, even though I'm like 90% sure I only have like 70% of my taste buds active anymore. That's awesome, Char. Every time I get ice cream in a cup, I know everybody by licking the ice cream, even though I have a spoon. I don't mind ice cream in a cone. I just find that it gets messy. Like if you don't eat it fast enough. And I'm not talking about, it drips down your hand or whatever. It'll leak through the bottom, and who wants that? So I just generally get a cup. Makes things easier. And then I'll get my daughter a milkshake because that makes things easier because it has a lid. It has a lid, and she doesn't have to try to struggle to get a bite. Because God bless her, but she likes to be a little Miss Independent, and that means not having mom and dad feed her. So milkshakes are good for anybody with a toddler that likes ice cream. Just get a milkshake, a plain, like a whatever flavor they want in a milkshake, a small one. And then you have a lid. They have easy access to the ice cream, and you're good. The only thing you have to do is probably hold it for them at some point. One of the little girls in my class said, "Miss G, do chickens fly?" I think chickens they can kind of fly. It's more like they hover briefly. It's like the cuckoos in Legend of Zelda. They just very briefly fly. It's not for long. I'm sorry, Shar, that sucks. And I'm guessing you're one of those people that's gone to the same gone to school with the same people ever since like kindergarten, or close enough that it's a problem. So I only ever did that in high school, and God, let me tell you, that sucked. Because it was literally the same group of people. It's like you, in 1 year, it carries. That's why nobody wishes to be 15. Nobody wants to go back to that crap at all. It's no fun. Not my favorite, but I don't like waste. How'd you handle the bullies, Krista? Okay, there's water in this. Can't really say I've dealt with a lot of internet trolls. I did a few times when I started doing these lives, like way back. I handled them by banning them. One of them was because I was doing one with tech, and I just they would not stop flirting and hitting on him, even though I said, this is my husband. And I just ended up banning them. It was fun. Let's see. Well, there were the comment sections there. I told them back off and block the account. I didn't like the comment. Fair enough. Remember that I was gay, and the way I found out was to the proper information. Asked me. I said not. And she said that Nick told me it was some boy. I hate it when people do that crap. I mean, I know it was going around, you didn't know, but at least these two, I guess, came up and asked instead of just kind of assuming. And then they were more than happy to tell you about it. So at least you have that for you. I'm pretty sure there were a lot of rumors about me I didn't know. So. And the ones I did know, I didn't like particularly. So I can imagine the ones I didn't know. Yeah, sometimes there's people who you think you know best, or you think, you can trust, are the people that betray you the worst. And I've never understood that. Like, strangers are kinder to you. Strangers that you don't know are kinder to you than people you do know. How messed up is that logic? I'm happy my boyfriend's B-day is coming up. Oh, nice. What are you guys going to do for his B-day? Well, thank you, Krista. I wish I don't know. Kind of glad I didn't know about half the crap that went on. And again, I just feel bad for how I used to be. I over his birthday, give him his presents because he can't be there on the day of his birthday. Oh, nice. Well, I'm not going to ask you what you got him because he sometimes tunes in, so I don't want him to see it and the surprise be spoiled. But I'm sure whatever you got him is going to be awesome coming from you. Same, and that's a sad thing. It really is sad. It really is. And this, unfortunately, the same goes for family. Like, you think your family has your back, and then something happens, and they completely turn on you, or they're the ones that turn on you first, and it's just like, what the hell? Why? You just sit back and wonder, like, what the hell did I do? What the hell did I do to deserve this? I get made fun of for liking anime and K-pop. That's unfortunate. It's unfortunate, Shar. The only thing I can tell you is that once you get out of high school, most people don't give a crap what you do as long as it doesn't affect them or break the law. So you can at least hold on to that once you get out of high school entirely, you'll be fine. It does get better. It really does. High school just sucks because you're with the same people. I think it's partially true. You're with the same people. Everybody's like hormonal and trying to figure themselves out. But I've always found that the people who make fun of you for certain things, like very specific things that you like, it's because they like it too, but they were told that it's kind of lame, so they lash out against anybody else who does it because they're jealous. And I know it's cliche, like, oh, the bullies are jealous. No, it actually is because they're jealous of the fact that you can express your interest in those things and they can't, so they lash out against you for it. So I'm not saying take it as a compliment because it's not necessarily a compliment, but at least kind of go in knowing that you're doing something they can't bring themselves to do, which is express your true self in the fact that you have these interests and you openly can show that you have these interests, whereas they can't. And so they lash out. My mom taught me to always be kind and respectful to people. I mean, yeah, that's a good rule. I mean, as long as you can say, I don't know what I did wrong to get somebody's ire, or, you can acknowledge where you messed up because, you were a certain way and then you changed or you stopped being a certain way. Yeah, I can see that. I'm not going to say that everybody should go out and be rude to people and just, be mean-spirited right away, but I guess everybody, even if they are terrible people, deserve some basic respect, I guess. That I'll do. Yes, same. I'm like waiting for my phone to blow up because I know some of my family does watch my streams, so. It was valedictorian in high school to say when the popular girls had a temper tantrum. Well, yeah, valedictorian's not a popularity contest. It's all about effort and how much effort you put into, your schoolwork. Tell you what I got him because he's not going to be listening tonight. He'll be too tired because he was in the greenhouse doing manual labor all day in the hot sun. He was also ooh, damn. I don't miss that. I mean, I kind of do because I do like to garden and stuff, but I wouldn't want to be out there in this heat. It's 90 degrees for the next week and a half. I'm just like, I'm over it. This has been the hottest summer since I've lived here, and I've lived here 10 years now. This is honestly the hottest summer that I remember. I'm glad I wasn't pregnant during the summer because I think it would have melted because it's already hard work being pregnant. You're tired, you're cranky, you're sleepy. But then to be sitting in the heat as you're making another human, it's just way worse. My daughter was born in September, so I was pregnant with her all through the summer, and that was bad because you're so tired and you sweat so much. It's just miserable. Luckily, I live across the street from an ice cream place. Unluckily, I lived across the street from an ice cream place. It was fun though. Legit waiting for someone to blow me up about it, but nobody's saying anything. I don't think that is a good sign. My mom was full blown pregnant with me in summer. Oh Lord. All the sympathy to people who are pregnant in the summer. It's just miserable. Like, pregnant in the winter is not bad. I was pregnant from like January to, of course, the summer, so I had that. But I mean, it's easy. You just bundle up. You can take care of it. You just bundle up, and cooking another human keeps you warm. So, it's not as bad as being in the summer where it's hot in the house. You're hot. The AC doesn't feel like it's touching you. The ice cream doesn't cool anything down. You're just dying. That wasn't fun. Yes, I do want to know what you got him. As long as you feel okay telling us. I don't want him to just pop in and be like, hey, that's awesome. So I would feel horrible if that happened, if I encouraged you to say it and then he just pops in and he's like, hey, that's really sweet. I can't wait. I was born in October, but my mom said I was supposed to be a November baby. I was born in the month I was supposed to be, but I was supposed to be due on the 2nd of November, and I was 5 days late. That's just like it. Probably. It was probably when she was like, can I induce it now? I'm like, 32 weeks. That's fine, right? Just kidding, guys. Just kidding. I know when I was getting close, I was like in August, I was just like, okay, come on. I know it can be any day now. Can it be any day now? And then in the end, I ended up being induced because they're like, well, we don't want to take you more than a couple weeks past your initial due date. I'm like, y'all have been wrong about all my dates. So my daughter is probably born early, if I'm being honest. I think she was born like a week or two early. But because they were going by certain other dates, they thought she was going to be late, like she was a week or two late. I'm like, no, she's really not. Pretty sure we got to keep her cooking, but they didn't want to. And they don't let you go past a certain amount of time when you're pregnant. I think they don't let you go past 42 weeks. And if you haven't had the baby by then, it's an emergency C-section. So I'm like, I'd rather be induced than do an emergency C-section. At least if I'm induced, I can have it the natural way. And then, but if I had a C-section, I'd be, stitched up, and I have 3 flights of stairs I have to walk up and down. So probably not the best thing for an incision on my abdomen. I was weeks early because my due date was around Thanksgiving at the beginning of November, but I was born on, dang. She did some born also. I was induced about 7 a.m. and I had my daughter right after almost 2 o'clock the next day. 2 o'clock a.m. the next day. Let's see. Bought him Spotify, shirts, bracelet. Oh, that's nice. I like that space. My brother was born in August, but he was due in September. He's a preemie baby. Mm-hmm. They're the same blue. There's your early baby. It is an amazing gift. I agree, Shar. Yeah, my daughter I'm pretty sure my daughter should have been born in like mid to late September. She was supposed to be due in August, like August 25th. I believe is her original due date. And I had her on September 5th. So you can obviously see they were concerned that I was like, I went 11 days past my due date. I suppose a due date. But I would still say based on her size and based on her lung development, because she had to be on oxygen like the first couple hours after she was born, I would say because of that, she came out too early. I think another week she would have been fine. But, she came she came all the same and she was fine. She was off oxygen after like 6 hours and it was good. She didn't have to go back on. She was a little jaundiced, but she's fine. She was fine. She was just a tiny little baby, and she's just the chillest baby in the world, to be honest. I knew they were always concerned about how she didn't move. I'm like, well, she moves at night. She really moves at night. And that's still kind of true to this day. Like, even when she came out of the womb, she didn't do much. Like, she didn't wiggle too much. She was just very calm, and she would just kind of sit there and look at you and kind of babble and play. And at night, she became a little more active. So that was her personality. I think what doctors forget is that babies are people, especially if they get further along. So they have personalities, and the mothers know the personalities of their children. That's why they can say, oh, yeah, well, the baby was flipping at like 3 a.m. or, the baby doesn't like this food. She kicks too much, or she doesn't like this song or something like that. Mothers know. We get a pretty good idea of the person our baby's going to be just by feeling them move inside of us at certain stimuli. So, daughter is so cute. Thank you. Yeah, she's gotten so much bigger. She's gonna be 3. I can't believe it. She's gonna be 3 in September. And right, yeah, I think. Yeah, she's going to be 3. I had to do the math for a second, sorry. But she's going to be 3, and she's so tall. She's so tall. And she's really pretty blonde hair, and it's doing this ringlet thing on the end, so she's going to have really pretty little ringlets in her hair. She's going to be gorgeous. She's a little shit, though. She's a little shit, meant to say a matching t-shirts say I don't do matching shirts, but I do. I like that. That's fantastic. This is a little nice. Yes, definitely she is. God, is she ever. I think she got that from my mother. She
she got it from my mother's side of the family. Because my mom absolutely hates waking up. But she's a night owl. So she'll stay up until, most of the time she doesn't have work. She can easily stay up until 1, 2 o'clock in the morning and go to bed. And then you won't see her get up until 10 o'clock the next day. And my daughter is very similar. She won't go to sleep until like 2 o'clock in the morning. And then she'll wake up at like 9, 10 o'clock the next day. Or she'll wake up at like an earlier hour, but she'll come, like if I'm already like out doing stuff, she'll come find me and then she'll like sit and fall back asleep on me and then I take her back to bed. But yeah, and then she'll sleep for another 3 hours. She's a little night owl who likes to sleep when she can. So it's fun. And I do love her very much. She's great. She's still a little shit though. I was so antisocial that one time at my big sister's birthday party, I let her sit and cry. I don't do parties. I don't do gatherings that are for me. I don't mind it for other people because there's no attention on me, but if it's mine and there's attention on me, I don't do well. I think I have some kind of I know I have some kind of anxiety about it. I don't know why. I don't know where it came from. But if you go back and look at old like videos of me on my birthday when I was little, like people saying happy birthday to me and I would cover my eyes and scream because I didn't like the attention. But then you watch any other video where I'm like wanting to be the center of attention, you would think, oh yeah, this kid loves parties where it's all about her. No, I didn't even like it when I was in high school and had my high school graduation. That was hell. That was utter hell. Having all these people here just for me, paying attention to me, it just unnerved me. It unnerved me so badly. I think I'm just glad I didn't have a wedding. I had a very cute little intimate one with just my husband, our friend, and his mom, with my husband's mom. But I didn't have it. Nobody at my side was there at the time. But I'm glad because it would just too much attention. Too much attention. And if I'd had a wedding bigger than that, like big, like, you know, those weddings that are like 100 people, 200 people, whatever. Nope. No way in hell. I would not have been a pleasant person. I get very bitchy. I don't know. Again, it's some kind of anxiety thing. I don't know where it stems from, but no, it's just not fun. And I'm glad I just didn't have a big wedding. Otherwise, that would have been miserable for all involved. So we saved ourselves some misery there. Can I do the ice cream trick that time? Nope. No, I couldn't cover my eyes and scream. I wouldn't have made them go away. It would have made them commit me, but I wouldn't have made them go away. It's the quietest kid in my class, my family, to the point where sometimes my siblings forget I was there. My teachers also forget. I tried that. Not necessarily with family, because with my family, we're just not quiet. Even if you are, it just doesn't work. But in school, I would try to be quiet. I didn't like having all the attention on me, of course. And so I would try to be quiet, but then, you know, I would raise my hand and answer a question. Or I'd raise my hand and volunteer to read. Or I'd do something that, you know, completely, I don't know. I would do something and get the teacher's attention somehow. And it wouldn't be a bad thing. It would be something good to get their attention. And I was just like, now I have to interact and be a good student. But I had a lot of teachers say that I was a great kid. I can't say a lot of my bosses would say the same thing, but a lot of my teachers did. To this day, whenever my family is having a party at my house, I hide in my room. I hated family parties. I hated whenever my parents had anybody over. I always felt weird. Like, why are these people in my house? Why are these people talking to me? I don't know them. They're always my parents' friends. Sometimes they would bring their kids over, and it's like, why? I don't want to play with strange kids. I don't know who these people are. My dad's military parties were always the worst. Like, if we would have to go for somebody's like
hail and farewell or swearing in or something like that. I mean, I was like, my dad, because of who he was, he had to go to a lot of the after parties. So we'd go to the ceremony or whatever. And then we'd have to go to the after party. Well, he would go to the ceremony, and then my mom and I and my siblings would all go to the after party with him. I'm not saying it was bad, but God, for somebody with anxiety, like just normal social, I don't like to talk to people, anxiety. It was bad because then you're like expected to interact with children that you don't know and you won't see again after day. You're expected to behave, and you're expected to do it for hours, and you won't know when you're going home because it was never like a normal time. You didn't know you were going to be there for a couple hours and then go. No, I knew I was going to be there for a while. We would usually start leaving if my siblings started to fall asleep. That was usually a good indicator we could go home. But that didn't happen till like 9, 10 o'clock. And we'd get there about, like 4 or 5 o'clock. So you're sitting there for hours eating crappy food, knowing you can't get the food you like, knowing that, you kind of have to deal with it. You have to deal with interacting with people you don't know or don't like. I don't know. I don't do parties, man. I can't. It's hard. Even as an adult, and I'm the one with people over, it's hard sometimes. You just are like, I know I invited you over, but can you guys just go? I don't want to have to be sociable. It's hard enough being sociable enough to get you guys to come over. Now that you're over, I'm like, can you just go? I can't do this now. One time at my stepbrother's party, 2 people tried to take my AirPods out of my ear and told me to talk to people. By the way, these people were my step uncle, my dad's friend. At that point, they can go themselves because it's not their place to say anything. Like, not even remotely their place to say anything. So they should know better. I don't know why certain people take it upon themselves to say to other people's kids. Like, if they're not bothering you and they're not bothering your kid and they're not being, disrespectful in any way or hurting anybody, leave them alone. Like, if they're just sitting there on their phone or whatever and they're not doing or saying anything wrong, just let them be on the phone. Let them have their music. Let them do whatever they're doing. As long as it's not hurting anybody, that's fine. That annoys me too. Like with family, you sit on your phone and they think something's wrong with you, or they try to talk. So I didn't get AirPods until this last year. But before then, I had, the old-fashioned kind where, you have the noticeable wires, right? I would come upstairs and I would tell my parents, hey, I'm going to listen to music. I'm going to chill out on the couch and listen to music. And they're like, okay, great. I'll listen to music. And then I see my mom talking at me. I can't hear her, obviously. And then I would pull it out. I'm like, what? She's like, why couldn't you hear me? I'm like, because I'm listening to music, Mom. This is having these wires hang on me is the international sign of I can't hear you. So don't talk at me. Just come over and tap my shoulder to get my attention. And she never learned. Neither did my dad. He would walk he would clearly see us or me sitting there with my headphones in. He would just walk in and start talking to me. I'm like, Dad, I can't hear you. Why are you talking to me? It's like the internet. It's like, I can't hear you. Don't talk to me. But they would talk anyway, and they still do it now. I can sit with my headphones, my AirPods in, and they'll be talking to me. They'll know I have them in, and they're still talking to me. And I'm like, what? And they're like, why couldn't you hear it? I'm like, listening to music. Sounds like a very teenage thing too. It's just like, why can't they just understand? You see this. I don't want to talk. Or if I do, try to get my attention and just don't talk at me, and they get mad at me for not hearing you the first time because I had my headphones and my music on. And then sometimes it would be really fun to pause your music when you knew they were talking, because then you could try to eavesdrop, because they would think you had your headphones in.
I'm so glad I don't do parties too much effort and interaction, very much so. Like, hell, I want to talk to little 6-7-year-olds and annoying adults, right? And that's all that ever seems to come to parties. No one your age, you're like always the oldest one there. I always was. If anybody's there that's remotely close to your age, they're closer to your siblings' ages, and they're playing with your siblings, and you're just kind of sitting off by yourself. And then your parents walk up and go, why aren't you playing? Like, why aren't you, talk? Like, who am I going to talk to? I don't know anybody here to start with. And even if I did, they're not here. They're with whoever else. So why would I talk to anybody? I don't do much social interaction. Like, con's okay. I don't mind con. Because, we all have something in common. But parties where it's like your parents' friends or your siblings' friends, like, I hated birthday parties. I freaking hated birthday parties for my siblings. Because there was always people around that I didn't like, or all these kids around that I didn't like, or whatever. And I was expected to either, participate or to chaperone. So still participate, but in a more senior capacity, I guess. Luckily, we didn't have too many birthday parties. My parents limited that, but no fun. No fun chaperoning your baby brother or baby sister's party of any sort. No one ever learns. No, they really don't. I only have my cousins there, and they're all younger than me. Right? The only people I ever ended up knowing at any of these parties was generally just my siblings. I always liked it though if the adults would put on like certain movies and stuff, like action movies. Or my dad had a friend who was a big comic book nerd, and he would put on when it was a thing, it was like the original X-Men movies, like the older ones with Hugh Jackman and Halle Berry. We would watch those, and we would actively discuss those. That was fun. That guy, we went to parties. I didn't mind too terribly because his wife was really nice, and his wife would talk to us. His wife was a very nice German lady, very sweet, very kind, very understanding of people who don't like to interact with, because she didn't much like it either. But she would sit and talk with my mom, and she would talk to us like we were adults, or at least, not like just dumb kids. And she was very nice. I liked her. And they would do bonfire nights and stuff, which was awesome. And we would do s'mores. So they were more kid inclusive than a lot of other people we would see. But that's in like the sea of a lot of the people my parents would interact to, despite having children, did not have very child-friendly activities to do at parties. Whenever I have anxiety or panic attack, my dad thinks I fake it, or I'm being dramatic. Excuse me, sorry for having these attacks that I can't control. You sound like my brother. My brother goes through the same thing with my mom and my dad. He does have diagnosed anxiety. Sometimes I think there are times that he just kind of, I know he does have panic attacks, and I know they do come on suddenly, but sometimes I feel like he stresses himself out to the point that he gets them. So I can see sometimes where they come from. I'm like, maybe don't be so dramatic and stressed out about certain things because you trigger these. But sometimes they're just like, really, can you just not today? And he'll be like, well, I'm sorry, I can't help it. I have an anxiety disorder. You know this. I take medication. He'll go off on a tangent about how he uses medication and stuff. I'm like, dude, just take the L and go on with your life, and just go find a quiet place and be by yourself for a minute while you have this, because God, I feel bad for him with those anxiety attacks. They're not fun. I've had a couple, but his are worse, and I think they're exacerbated just by my parents, because he always had a problem controlling stress for himself. Like, he always got himself too stressed out and overworked and overwhelmed, and it was mostly like it came a lot from my parents, because they would tell him, you need to calm down, or you need to do this and that. And he's like, I can't do that. You really can't, to a point. But at the same time, I'm like, dude, you already know your trigger. Can you just, avoid the trigger a little bit? Can you not think of all like the year-long stuff? Can you just think of the day-to-day stuff that you have to do? Maybe go out a week and then, stop don't think about what you have to do in a year, what you might do in 10 years. You just cause yourself more trouble that way. Space glitch says bloop. I find that funny. I don't know if I come across as heartless or whatever on these. I try not to. I'm just trying to express how I feel because I'm like, I know people have issues. I know people have triggers, but it's like, if you know what your triggers are, maybe the right thing to do would be to stay away from them or to, work on at least limiting the amount of interaction you have with the trigger if you can. Again, I don't mean to come across as heartless. It's just my feeling on it. It's like, if I know something's going to upset me, why do I go do it? So I just avoid it. Like I avoid Attack on Titan season 4 because I'm like, I can't do that right now. I'm not in the headspace to do that right now. Maybe in a couple months I'll be in the headspace to do it. But right now, no way in hell can I do it right now. We can wrap up in a few minutes here. Mine happens with your restaurants, but sometimes very random. Yeah. Sometimes it could just be like you just don't feel safe somewhere and your body triggers that response. I've had that happen where I just didn't feel comfortable somewhere. It didn't even have to be like a place full of people or anything. It was just somewhere I was just like, I don't really like this. I don't really like the situation. And you get that feeling. You get that really bad feeling. And then you're like, this isn't going to do it for me. Thanks. It's heartless. People know what's going to happen if we do something and we do it anyway. Yeah. I wonder what it would be like being a planet. That's a really good point. Both of you. Being a planet. That would be interesting. I wonder sometimes what it would just be like to be a good writer, YouTuber, mom, wife, whatever. I don't know if any of that applies to me. But a planet, I could do more. And we can watch around the same time. At least we can suffer together. Maybe. I'm thinking maybe I'll watch it come October, November timeframe when, I don't know. I feel like I need time to just adjust to the fact that it's ending. And that it's ending the way it is. I'm like, I've had a year, but at the same time, I see the clips. I see how it goes. And it just hurts. Yay, Mama. I find you funny a lot, Space. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to it. No. What if people became a fish or a shoe? It would be weird if they maintained the same human consciousness if they were a shoe. I could see it maybe if they were a fish, but as a shoe? I don't know. That'd be interesting for sure. I've seen some recent art from the studio. It breaks my heart. And I finally listened to the song The Rumbling. I couldn't do it for the longest time because I knew what it was for and I knew why it existed. And I finally listened to it. It's a banging song, but it still hurt me on a deep cellular level to listen to. Cause I'm like, this song sums up everything about it, about that season, about this whole season. And there's nothing we can do, just fix it, to save it. And then I have to remind myself I'm writing about a fix it right now. Not necessarily fix it, just an alternate way. I'm just going to imagine that they run parallel to each other, like this is the canon, but mine is just like enough that it could maybe replace canon in my mind so that I could deal with it. But then I'll read sad channel, like sad fanfics and stuff, and I'm like, oh, I just hurt myself all over again, but it was so good to read. I don't help myself sometimes. Mermaid is a type of fish. True. No, just write your story. Don't hurt Levi. Don't hurt him how, Wolf. If I was anything in the world, I'd be a vampire werewolf mix. I feel like that's a little greedy. I mean, yes, they both get powers by the full moon, but I still feel like that's greedy. And then if you think about it, if you wouldn't get the full powers of either, because something would have to cancel out in order for the other to give. So, personally, for me, I think I'd rather be a vampire. I don't know. It's not like, I read Twilight or anything. I don't know. I just have always liked, I've always liked vampires more, like their lore and things, better than werewolves. Just it. Don't really find by giving him trouble. That ship has sailed long before I became involved in writing anything around Levi. No missing limbs, eyes, and tags. I think he has scars from the face. Okay, I promise I won't remove any of his fingers. I won't break his leg to the point of being immobile. I can't guarantee he won't have scars on his face, but they'll be not cutting his face in half. Maybe like scrapes or something. Not like because I'm still like the whole Mikasa scar thing. Why was it? Just to show like how close Eren came to hurting her forever? I don't know. Because it always seemed weird to me that they emphasized that one tiny ass scar on her face. But we all know Levi was scraped up to hell before he came to the Survey Corps. So why don't we see all of his scars? Why don't we see all of his previous injuries? Why do we only see this tiny little ass scar on Mika's face for the longest time? Nobody else has any. And then Levi finally gets injured enough and he has scars now. Like, there's no freaking way he went through life in the underground without getting scars somewhere. Like, even on his neck, he probably had something, but they just were like, oh no, that's not a detail we care about. But we care about this tiny little mark on this one chick's face. What? No. That's called, it's supposed to be symbolic of something, and no one cared. If I was a vampire wolf, makes my powers returning to a wolf that can suck blood and super speed telepathy can make mine to super strength. Okay. I will say that telepathy, the super strength, and the super speed probably is an overlapping area for both vampires and werewolves, so you probably would get that. Maybe not the blood sucking. Maybe you just like bloodier meat. But you'd probably be one of those that, you couldn't go out in the daylight, even though you had that werewolf thing, but you could go out at night and under the full moon. Maybe that's a compromise. Yeah, I'm sure he has that. I'm sure he is, I'm sure even from his ODM gear straps. That's one of my favorite things people write about, by the way, is saying that he's got deep scars from where his ODM gear is. He's always strapped himself in. And even when he was in the underground, because he had the gear, he strapped himself in tight. So I kind of like that. I think it adds to his character to show that he made sure everything was in his control, even if it hurt him. But yeah, and I mean, even the other members of Squad Levi should have something. Like, they
fell off of horses. They fell out of trees. Like, how do you go through this training in general and not have scars to show? That's BS, to be honest. Annie was such an underrated. She was underrated and she was underused. I feel like they should have broken her out as soon as Aaron, or roughly after Aaron got the Armored Titan powers. I feel like they should have just broken her out then. Like, why did they wait 5 freaking years to do that? If I had been Annie, I'd have been pissed. I'm like, you guys, you had the ability to break me out and you just waited around 5 years. I still think it's just Isayama forgot that she was a plot item at some point. And then he just released her in the end because he was like, I got to do something here. Just release her and she can become a peace ambassador or some shit. I think that's what that was. I don't think he even remembered that he had her as a character. I think he just remembered at the end. He's like, I got to wrap that up because somebody pointed it out to him. He's like, and they're like, you got this one character. It's been underground for 5 years in a crystal. What are you going to do with that? And he had to do something about it. So that's what he did. He just released her and she became a peace ambassador later. I honestly think he forgot about it. But yeah, they should have, like, if he had been thinking about it, he probably would have had Annie released sooner. It would have made more sense. Then they could have gotten started about, they could have had somebody guide them for the construction of their new technology, told them more about Marley and everything like that. And no, we had to have what we had happen, and Aaron ran away because he couldn't deal with the memories and he had nobody to guide him or nobody to help him or anything like that. Because I think, like, just based on kind of the interactions between Reiner and Bertolt, I think that the warriors, I guess we'll call them, were all kind of trained to help each other because they all went into this knowing not everything. So I think they were all trained to help each other cope with it all. Because they all understood the trauma that they just went through. They all understand that they can see these previous memories that aren't theirs, and they know better how to deal with them, I think, because as we saw, even Armin was affected by Bertolt, but he didn't have anybody to help him cope either because Aaron couldn't cope. Aaron couldn't cope. I feel like, though, if they had released Annie sooner, or even tried to, get Zeke on their side, maybe they could have helped Aaron cope better with what he was seeing. Maybe they could have helped Armin cope better with what he saw. Maybe they could have just entirely helped the two of them, and then things could have been different. I feel like the reason Aaron went ahead with the rumbling was he saw no other reason, like no other way, because he never tried to see another way. He figured, like, these memories are set in stone. It has to be this way. When somebody could have been like, hey. Somebody from Marley could have been like, hey. So I know you're seeing things, and they don't feel like, and you don't know which are yours thoughts and which are these other people's thoughts. So here's how you're going to deal with this, and here's what you're going to do. Like, therapy was needed for a lot of these characters. We could have avoided the billions lost if Aaron had just gotten a year of therapy. If you go into hibernation like Annie, do you still lose years when you have time to, like? Yes, if I remember correctly. Yes. Because it was still taking a lot to maintain her to live in that crystal. So, yeah, she still lost years. She's still going to die after 13 years, I think. But considering how young they were, she will be dead fairly soon. Actually, yeah. I think she became a Titan too. Aaron was 10. The other kids look to be about 9 or 10 years old, like between 8 and 10 years old. So I'm pretty sure they're dying really, really soon. Armin will be the last one to die because he was the one that had been changed last. No, I take that back. What's his name? The little guy, the little jaw titan dude. He'll be last, but I'm any of the original 9. I would give all Attack on Titan characters coupon therapy. Yeah, like a year's worth. Just one Eren. So I meant just like if we had to give therapy to anyone, I'd give it to Eren because God, that kid needed some. He needed it bad. if we had like even a couple months of therapy, he may have not done the rumbling. We may have had a different ending. But that's why I think something or someone kept him from going to see Levi, or something kept him from talking to Levi about it, because I swear Levi would have helped him try or do something that would have avoided all of it. I don't think anger management so much. Everybody harps on it, but it's like, if you've ever been around a teenage boy, that's how they act. They're just angry. Some are angrier than others, depending on the testosterone level. But they all are that angry, and most of them usually mellow out by the time they're in their late teens, early 20s. So I don't even think Aaron needed anger management. I think he was just defiant at times. But they all die in their earlier mid-20s. Yeah, pretty much. Yep, you're right, Shar. But I think with Aaron, like, either he kept himself away from Levi, or something did, like there was some I don't know. But if Levi had just spent like an hour, 2 hours, or a day talking to him, I feel like things could have been different. And I'm not even saying that because I like because I do ship them. I'm saying that because just how they interacted, like just how they kind of got each other on a different level. I feel like Levi could have been exactly what Aaron needed to avoid the rumbling. Maybe because of the memories, he was like, I have to avoid him because he's going to tell me to stop the rumbling, or he's going to help me, or something like that. And the memories, the ghosts or whatever in his head told him to stay away. But I think if he had spent a day talking to Levi, things would have ended differently. Like openly actually talking to Levi, things could have been different. He's really angry at 10 and held on to that anger. And grudges happen, especially something like that. But I don't know. I feel like it was justified him kind of holding on to that anger, at least until the whole thing where he saw the future and all those memories. Which it begs the question, like, he saw all of that because he touched Historia's hand, right? How the hell did he see that after? Like, that seems like a really big plot hole. Like, it came all of a sudden. It came too fast for his mind to process, but yet all of a sudden he can focus on all of that and make sense of it. I get they all see the past memories, but why link it specifically to Historia for Aaron to see the memories when if they were just going to be able to see the memories anyway? It didn't make sense to have him touch Historia and see all of that if he was going to see it anyway because of the memories of the other founding and attack titans. I don't know. Just a little plot hole I saw. Because I mean, Armin didn't even touch Historia after he became the Colossal Titan. He could still see Bertolt's memories. Or he still had influence from Bertolt, so I don't know. It just seemed really weird that Aaron touched Historia's hand and he could see all this, but it was too, like, it's too fast for him to really recollect anything because, he had to let go of her hand eventually. But then afterwards, he could perfectly, see all of these memories and know all these things. Like, if that was such an important plot device that it had to be Historia, why make it so he could do it without Historia around? I don't know. That's just me. And I still know how I want my story to end. It will not end with rumbling, I promise. It will end with something else. But it will have to involve Historia, and it will have to involve other Titan shifters. So that'll be an interesting thing to write about. It's getting all those people together. One Levi and the other Levi and Aaron's. Hello, Emma. So I know how it's gonna end, and it doesn't actually. So Aaron and Levi will get married in the third book. I can say that they'll get married in the third book. So they're married at the time of the end of the war. So that I can say, and I can say that they do seemingly, I haven't decided yet, get rid of all the Titans and Titan shifters. So I'm not gonna say how because I'm still working on like the details out, but it will be different from the rumbling, but it will have to involve all of the Titan shifters. So I'm trying to get some of them that aren't really, Paradise Island friendly to help will be interesting. Oh, hello. Thank you. That's very sweet of you. Is Carla coming in? Carla probably won't be around until maybe book 5. For a second, I thought you were going to say they don't end together. No. I do need to. I wouldn't write this whole thing out for them not to end together. No, they do. They do. They just get married in the next book. So I'm going to finish out book 2, and then in book 3, they'll get married. They'll have a really cool wedding. But no, they'll be married before the end of the war. Because see, I don't want them to just be, together. I want them to actually like have like be married. I don't know. I'm like, why would they wait that long? That just seems stupid. Why would they wait to the end of the war? No. But Carla comes right before the end of the war. Mostly because of Aaron. Because Aaron can't keep well enough alone. So she comes before the war. And that'll be interesting. If she said that people would be pitchforks out. I don't know how many people would actually get mad at me if I did that. I don't think a lot of people even read it. So like, nobody seems upset that they're not even together in this story. Like they don't have a chapter together at all until near the end. A lot. Oh, Wolf, I did post another chapter, so you can read that. It's the one where I accidentally may have made Levi king of Paradise Island. I say I may have accidentally because I didn't think about it until I was writing. I'm like, oh, crap. What? I love Levi and Aaron. I do too. They're fantastic. And you're building their relationship. Yeah, more or less. Yeah, sure. So, in my story, I think to this day that Kenny and Yuri were more than just, friends. So in my story, I have it where they got married, and Yuri canonically was king of Paradise Island. Well, I also have it canonically where Yuri and Kenny adopted Levi when after his mother died. So Levi was technically the adopted son of the king, which would make him prince, which would make him the heir, since his uncle, who was king, or his adopted father, who was king, died. So there is that. I accidentally made Levi king. May have made Levi king. I'm still working out whether Yuri decided to waive Levi's like he waived Levi's succession, or if he never did and now he's supposed to be king, but now Levi's gonna be like, no, give this to the tiny blonde. I don't want it. Levi king would be making everyone clean the whole kingdom, right? But yeah, that's how I accidentally made Levi king of Paradise Island until I can work out what happens with it. he's technically king, or he should have been king. Which, let me tell you, Aaron, when he finds out, is so pissed that they let Historia be queen. Because, Aaron is total queen, and he doesn't want to be one, the real one. But I'm thinking what happens is, maybe the Yuri waived the succession and named his brother heir instead, and then, then Historia becomes queen, and then she's, gives Levi some kind of title. Like, I'm thinking maybe like a prince of the realm or something like that. So he still has, so he's still noble, and he still has noble responsibilities, but he's not like, directly in charge of the country. And, Kenny, being the prince consort or whatever, is entitled to certain rights, and he gets money, and he gets titles, and he gets to be known as like another, like a dowager consort or something like that. I don't know, dowager queen. I don't know. Kenny is a queen too. When I watch your vids, it makes me, well, I'm very glad to hear that, Emma. Thank you so much. It's very sweet of you. Yeah, it was a shock when I heard it. I'm sorry. I don't know. Imagine Aaron is king. Oh my God. Which Aaron? The one I write or the real one? Because that would be crazy either way. Again, I still think that Aaron, even as a queen, would be bad. But yes, just so you know, when Levi is named like a prince of the realm or something, the real one, yeah, that would have been bad. I mean, maybe. I don't know. Maybe it would have helped. I don't know, but it would have been bad. Maybe, yeah, probably. Thinking about it, yeah, that would have been bad. But yes, in my story with the whole prince of the realm thing, Aaron does tend to lord it over people, more so than Levi. Even though they're technically not even married, he lords it over like Jean and says, "Well, my significant other is a prince, and you are stuck with nothing." I don't know. He'll just use it to piss him off and to get things. Like, he'll just make a real ass of himself at times about it, but he loves it. And I kind of like the story of Levi rising from like his little humble beginnings to then just being this long lost prince, basically. I kind of like that, so I'm gonna stick with it. First day as king or queen, people will be saying, no, you don't want to be that bad. Simon. I graduated this year, said in high school. Well, congratulations. Watching your vids when I high school. Well, good. I'm glad to hear that. And again, congratulations on finishing school. I hope you're moving on to wonderful things. This is strange. That's really cute. I like that. Oh man, my voice is starting to give out. I've been talking for an hour and a half now. The weather on my husband's computer keeps changing. It said mostly cloudy now, and then it was saying off and on raining. Now it's mostly cloudy again. There, your music. No, I'm sorry. I thought it was cool the way you were able to get that in the chat. I mean, cool. Alrighty, I think because my voice keeps wanting to give out, I'm gonna go ahead and call it for now. Nice. That's really cool, actually. But I think I'll go ahead and call it. That should be. Oh my God, no. No.
god. No. That's just what Squad Levi should be called instead. It's just the stray kids. Because they're all just little strays that became a little pack. The only one with parents left in this world is Jean. Trauma kids. I mean, you're not wrong. Neither of you is wrong. Oh, God. Okay. Have a great week, everybody. Keep an eye out. There should be a video today or tomorrow. And yeah, thank you again for joining me on this wonderful, lovely hangout. And I can't wait to see you next week. Bye-bye.